Hey, what's going on, my fellow idiots? Welcome back to another episode of Idiot Proof Cooking. Now, on a side note, if you're new to the channel, my name is Will, and I make simple and easy to follow recipes that I would consider are idiot proof, because hey, if an idiot like me can make something, you certainly can too. And if you're a fellow idiot and have been following the channel for a while, you certainly should know the drill by now. So today I'm going to be making some bread. A month ago or so, somebody left a comment on one of my videos asking if I've ever just made simple loaves of bread for a video, and I don't think I have, so I obviously wanted to do that. It sounds like a great idea. You know what, making just nice simple loaves of bread is super simple. They're so tasty, and I can't stress it how easy they are. And then hey, you don't have to buy them at the store anymore. You just get your flour and your other ingredients, and you can make loaves of bread at home, literally no problem. Without a bread maker, you can just make it in your oven here. Not an issue. So you know what? Why are we beating around the bush here in the intro? Let's get into making this. Okay, my fellow idiots, it's time to make ourselves some bread, so get out your stand mixer. The first thing we're going to do is add into the bowl of the stand mixer 2 cups of warm water. I had mine heated to about 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Once the water's in, we're then going to add in 1 1/4 tablespoons of dry active yeast, and we're going to get the yeast blooming by feeding it a pinch of white granulated sugar. We're going to let that sit for 10 minutes and it should get nice and foamy. After 10 minutes, and hopefully your yeast is nice and foamy at this point in time, add in a 1/4 cup of white granulated sugar, and then we're going to pour in 5 cups of bread flour. So pour that all into the bowl. Make sure you don't spill it. I often do. 5 cups into the stand mixer, and then we're going to add in some butter. Specifically a 1/2 cup of melted unsalted butter. Into the bowl it goes. And then last but not least, I'm going to throw in a pinch of kosher salt. I would say about a teaspoon's worth. And then from there, I'm going to affix the dough hook attachment of my stand mixer, and I'm going to mix the dough together for the next 8 to 10 minutes on a medium speed until you get a nice smooth and consistent dough looking much like that. Now bear with me here for a moment while I scrape the dough off of the hook. You don't want to leave any left over after all, but this dough is going to be a little bit more hydrated than some of the doughs I've made on this channel, but it's completely workable. Look at that. As you can see, a little bit more hydrated, sticking to the bottom of the bowl, but that's completely to be expected. So let's just move the stand mixer out of the way here and get to kneading this dough. So flour your work surface just with some additional bread flour, and then you're going to want to scrape the dough out of your bowl onto said floured work surface. There we go. Now what we're going to do now is knead the dough just for another 1.5 to 2 minutes. You really want to make sure you really work the gluten structure on this dough. It's going to make it nice and fluffy and have a beautiful crumb. So just knead it back and forth on your floured work surface with your hands for, like I said, 1.5 to 2 minutes, and then you're going to want to form the dough into a ball, similar to pretty much every dough we've ever made on the channel. And then we're going to get ourselves out a large mixing bowl, throw in a couple tablespoons of olive oil, get your little dough ball here, drop it into your bowl, swish it around in the olive oil so that it doesn't stick to the walls of the bowl, and then we're going to cover said bowl in some plastic wrap, and we're going to stick this in a warm, dry space for the next 1.5 to 2 hours until it doubles in size. So after about 1.5 hours this time, it was a little bit quicker for me. It puffed up quite nicely. It definitely doubled in size. Look at that big old dough ball. So now all we gotta do is punch it to deflate it, and it's time to start cutting this up and making some loaves of bread. So again, flour your work surface and then extricate your dough from the bowl. There we go, onto your work surface it goes, and then we're going to cut the dough in half because the recipe I showed you is good for 2 loaves of white bread. Now you can weigh your dough if you want so that both pieces are the exact same weight. I just eyeballed mine, so you know, you can either be very precise or live dangerously like me and eyeball it. But what you'll want to do is take 1/2 of your piece of dough, flatten it into a rough rectangle shape, and then roll it into a loaf shape, and then pinch both ends and the seam along the bottom so that there's no exposed seams. Then you're going to go get yourself an 8-inch loaf pan, and you're going to carefully place your roll of dough into your loaf pan and then just loosely tent it with some plastic wrap, because we're going to go set these 2 loaves aside in the warm dry spot you used before to let them rise a second time. This time it should only take about an hour, and as you can see here, they have definitely risen. Look at those. These are going to be amazing. Now, this is the perfect time to go preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, because that's what we're going to be baking these at. And obviously take off the plastic wrap from them. You don't want to bake them with that on. But yeah, we're going to bake these at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20 to 25 minutes, depending on the efficiency of your oven, until they come out nice and golden brown and puffy, looking much like this. Wow, those look awesome. Look at those beautiful loaves of bread. Now you can tell they're done if you give them a tap on the top and they sound hollow on the inside. That means they're done. But look at these beautiful things. Oh, I'm so happy with how they turned out. Now we have to let them cool down. I would say let them cool down for about 2.5 hours on a wire rack. So that's what I did. After about 3 hours on the wire rack, they're ready to be cut into. But let me give you a couple of close-up shots of these, because they are absolutely gorgeous loaves of bread. Look at how beautiful these are. So you know what? I think it's time. Let's cut into one. I want to show you what the crumb looks like, and I want to taste test it obviously as well. I'm just going to slice myself off a piece here, and look at the crumb on that. Look at how nice and fluffy it is. Hold on, I'm just showing Meg because I'm so blown away by this. That is a gorgeous loaf of bread. Oh man, I love making bread. It's so easy. It's so easy, guys. Like, look at how easy that came together. So you know what? Let's cut myself off a piece here. We're gonna go taste test it. I'm not gonna do anything too extravagant with it. Just throw some jam on it. But let me just give you another close-up shot of that crumb. Look at how perfect it is. Oh, it is such a thing of beauty. So anyways, yeah, like I said, taste test time. I'm just going to throw some jam on it. Obviously do whatever the heck you want with your bread, you know, make it into sandwiches, make grilled cheese, you know, make an egg in the basket, for really whatever. But for the sake of the video, I'm just going to do a quick taste test with some jam, and it is perfect white bread. It tastes amazing. Obviously the jam is delicious, it's jam, but the bread is so soft and amazing and delicious. This is so easy to make. Like, if there's anything to take away from this video, is how easy it is to make this type of bread. So I hope you enjoyed what you saw here today. And if you did, why don't you drop me a comment, like the video, or even subscribe to the channel. Thanks again for watching A Day Proof Cooking, and we'll see you again soon.